of AlivePartner.com, and I want to welcome you all here in the YouTube community to another episode of Alive Partner TV. And today is actually a really special day in the Alive Partner community, and especially here in the show, because we continue what we started not too long ago, creating what's called the H.P.S. And if you're wondering what that is, that stands for the Alive Partner Human Power Series. And it's actually a really special day in the life of the show and the life of our community, the Alive Partner community, because we have been celebrating now for the past 28 days what we call GL28, which stands for the 28-day Gratitude Launchpad. And one of the things that in my journey, and I talk about this in my different episodes, that I have gone through over the past 30 years, not only by being a physician, but then being involved in the mind body medicine space for all this time, is how often we come across people talking about things that they do and they advertise it. And this program is amazing, and you have to read that book, and you have to go through this journey, and you have to go through this experience. But we never really get to hear about the people that supposedly are having these amazing experiences. And to be honest, I personally have gone through a bunch of those over the past 3 decades. And I have come very often empty handed and really not feeling as though there was a complete satisfaction and fulfillment in the process of going through those experiences. And what I saw as a common denominator in a lot of those things is not really hearing from the people that supposedly are going through those experiences. And in this particular case, I've made it a point to not just highlight the programs that we offer and what we do, because that would be a little boastful, but just have regular people like you and me come into this space and have a conversation and share from their experience, from their awareness, from their hearts, candidly, unscriptedly, what is it that they have been through and what their experience has been. And more importantly, since that may sound like a advertisement for something, honestly, what really motivates me is to highlight, to showcase the power of the human spirit, and therefore the name of the series, the Alive Partner TV HBS, or Human Power Series. Today, I am so honored to be sharing with all of you somebody who's been a very dear member to our GL28, to our Gratitude Launchpad community. Her name is Amy, and Amy is actually tuning in today from Canada. And I want to extend the warmest of welcomes to Amy and express my sincere and deepest gratitude for her, accepting this invitation and having done it so willingly and so graciously. So, welcome to your home here at Alive Partner TV, Amy, and thank you for being with me, sharing this space and this conversation. It's an honor to have you.
It's an honor to be here. I was
That's
so
all.
excited. Yeah.
Amy, let's just get a little bit into this and have fun with this. You came into GL28, to the Gratitude Launchpad. Tell me, before you even came into that, where are you in the world? What has life been like, and how did you what have you done in your life that actually eventually brought you to our community?
Yeah, great question. So, I've been on like a spiritual type connecting to myself journey for probably, I want to say 13 years now. So quite a while, but it's been like a journey and a process and like slowly uncovering things as I was ready and all of that as well. So it started with just being more present to help with like anxiety and panic attacks and all of that. And it just kind of kept evolving. And I actually got really burnt out after having my second child, where like so exhausted, couldn't sleep at all. And I've actually found, through the grace of the universe, Dr. Kim, your wife, on Instagram, with her tapping for like exhaustion and burnout and all of that. And at first, it's really funny. At first, she was saying, like, people think I'm too bubbly, and they're like, no. And then that was my first impression as well, too. I was like, no, you don't know, like, no, there's no way. And then a couple months later, she came up into my awareness again as I wanted to explore tapping again. And I was ready for her at that point. So, and that was only like, I mean, maybe a month or two later, I was finally open for it. So I've done a number of her programs over the years, and amazing transformations. I'm no longer exhausted and not no longer burnt out. I can run again, and I couldn't run for a long time. I was just too tired, and so that is beautiful, and I'm really grateful for that as well. And then just being part of her community, and as I've grown more and more, then she mentioned your program, the GL 28, and I was just like, oh, I have to do it. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I'm being guided, so I'm doing it. And I said yes. And it was even better than I imagined. Like I didn't expect the changes that I've seen already to occur and how I'm really seeing the magic everywhere. And it's just mind blowing.
Incredible. For all of those of you who are joining us in this conversation with Amy, um, what she has shared is actually really profound because in the Alive Partner community, it is very common to have a lot of people that have come in from all over the world. And it's not uncommon, just like in Amy's history and her trajectory and journey, to have been a seeker and to have been experiencing some things in life that are very, very intense. Some people like her have had the courage and the curiosity to just look what else is here, what's possible here. Sometimes, Amy, as you know, the intensity of what's felt can be so excruciating, that either we hide, or for lack of you know nothing better to know what to do, we essentially just kind of go and create a little world, a little bubble, and we isolate ourselves. It's something that I see a lot in my community. And in your particular case, as a seeker, uh, you were gifted with that awareness and that sensitivity, maybe that degree of empathy that runs through you, which prompted you and guided you, as you were saying, to look for other things. And what I really find beautiful about your journey, which is no different than some other community members that we have, is how sometimes the opening of a little crack in the window that allows light to come in can be enough to really generate even more exponentially for you to actually unleash yourself and want more. And you said, I started this journey 13 years ago. Anybody watching may say, well, but that's a really long time. Well, some people actually spend their whole lifetime, because of a multitude of reasons, wondering what to do, not really knowing any answers. So, whenever we have someone in the community, or I meet somebody like yourself who's had this exponential, degree of change, transformation, evolution, it is really so magnificent and inspiring. Um, you and one of the things that I also see in the community for anybody watching this is, and I know it from my own journey, um, it is so challenging to own and let the world know that we are experiencing things that can be so intense in the eyes of others, right? It's this thing that I don't want anybody to see that, because what are people going to say? Am I going to be the one who's the weird one in the room, and whatever other things that come to the awareness? But when we see somebody like Amy, and if you're listening to this, and some of the things she said resonated with you, well, this is actually something extremely empowering. And not only that, it's something that really, just turns on the fire of hope in the heart, that in fact there's other people that are having very, very intense experiences, that they feel a lot, and ultimately to start discovering the journey of, how is this a superpower?
Yeah.
How is this capability to feel so much, to have panic attacks, to feel as though I don't have the energy? How is that something that can actually be leveraged? Because in fact, it is a superpower.
Yeah.
So when I hear you say that, I just immediately have so much awareness of possibility for billions of people that may be going through that, even if they'll never get to watch our conversation. Because the fact that we are airing these things, the fact that we can be seen, the fact that we can open our chest to receive, the fact that we can really step into this world and essentially say, wow, this is my journey and there's value to it, and I'm willing to take the next step, right? Just like, okay, going through the woods and doing those runs that you so much love to do. It's really, really powerful. Amy, one of the things that, when people reach out to me pertaining to the GL28 work, the 28-day Gratitude Launchpad. Um, it tends to create confusion, and it's a little hard sometimes to explain what the work is about because people tend to think of gratitude as thank you, thank you, thank you, and just saying thank you a million times, almost to the point of kind of like sounding weird. And one of the things that I have said to that kind of reaction and inquiry has been that in fact it's a lot deeper than just saying thank you. And one of my recent write-ups, I was saying thank you is not enough. Anybody who's actually reading that may be like confused as to why that is. Could you share with the community, from your experience, Amy, what new definition, what new way of really approaching the aspect of gratitude in your life has been like before you were coming into this, and then what awareness started to happen as it pertains to how you conceive the process of gratitude in your life? What is it now for you? And
Yeah.
just comparing and contrasting that.
Okay. So before, I'd be grateful here and there, and I would go through stints of having a gratitude journal and all of that, but it would only be gratitude for what was going right. So this program really transformed that for me, wherein just being grateful for feeling and grateful for even the intense stuff, the stuff that's not going quite, but it actually is because it's inviting you into so much more to actually feel and have, like, I already had love and compassion for my feelings, but not gratitude. And that just like and it was through Dr. Kim learning that love and compassion for my feelings and all of that, but then it just amplified it even more, having that gratitude and to really be thankful for it. And yeah, I didn't expect that. And to be able to, yeah, just see anything that's going on within your life and have gratitude for it, it's huge. And I'm constantly like, I'll just be walking now and just be like, thank you, thank you, thank you, and just seeing the magic. And walking my son to the bus this morning, it was all sparkly on the road because it was ice, a little bit of icy, and it was cold. And he was just like, "Wow, it's so beautiful." And I'm like, "It really is." Where before I'd be like, "Yeah, it is." Like I wouldn't be really actually feeling the magic and seeing the magic how he sees it. And I almost was tearing up because I was like, "It is beautiful." Just looking at the ground and yeah, being amazed by that and looking at the moon that was still there because the sun was just rising and everything. So it was special and really magical. And before I would have just been like going through the motions of my day of walking my child to the bus and not really seeing the magic in that.
That is
Yeah.
so beautiful and so powerful. For those of you who just listened to Amy's share pertaining to the before and enduring, really, the process of GL28, she said a key word as she was sharing with us, and that word was feel. And I want to take an opportunity to really unpack this a little bit more because um, one of the premises of the Alive Partner work, if not the central premise of the work, is being able to reconnect couples and reconnect people with themselves through the power of the feeling body. That's essentially what we do in every single program, with very specific things that we do that speak to that topic that we're serving in those programs. But what I have discovered, Amy, and you know this because I've shared it with the community, and for those of you who are watching this, um, which is really remarkable to me, over the past 30 years of being a physician at Harvard, Yale, and Columbia University trained physician, and I'm saying that not as a boast or to brag, but just to highlight the fact that it's a very what's called an allopathic background. It's a very rigid sort of way of looking at life when it comes to healthcare and medicine, as opposed to thinking about naturopath or homeopath or osteopath, for example, energy, and workers, energy healers, etc., and other forms of other healing modalities. But what really became apparent to me over those 3 decades, and feeling empty-handed, as I mentioned in the beginning, when I would go to other people's experiences, not to undermine the quality of the work by any means, um, had to do with the fact that I really intuitively sensed that something was missing. And I had been significantly challenged in my life, particularly in my relationships and in my marriage, deeply, with coming to basically hitting the proverbial wall with my wife and really feeling the disconnection, the lack of harmony, despite the incredible love and passion for her and for our union. And that really kind of ignited this, deeper passion and curiosity into like what is missing, because it would bother me so much. And what I started to discover is that the most underutilized superpower, if I may use that expression for this, that the humans that we have is the human body, the actual body, the feeling body. You see, from a medical standpoint, I'll get just medical here for 30 seconds. We are just covered with nerve endings. And I like to call our bodies the most sophisticated radar known to mankind, to humankind, until we get to know, perhaps other cultures from other planets, or, planetary or solar systems or whatnot, galaxies, because we are being informed on a millisecond, nanosecond, microsecond to microsecond basis of so much information. And the brain, in all its splendor and capability, is not really capable of informing us of everything that is being detected by the feeling body, unless we start to tune in into what the feeling body feels. So, one of the central components of this gratitude journey, this gratitude practice, this program that has been offered through a life partner, is the incorporation, the exploration, the development, the cultivation of the utilization of the feeling body with the aspect of gratitude to be able to create healing. So I like to say, as you know, Amy, gratitude plus feeling equals healing. Um, I've never in my entire life, being a physician or in my mind body medicine journey, and personal development experiences for 3 decades, I have never found anything nor heard other people really bring the two together to such a way. And if other people are, I am so glad that we're not the only ones doing this, because the more people that get to do this, I think the more freedom, the more love, the more compassion, the greater degree of expansion we're all going to be feeling. And all of these sensations of, panic attacks or anger, frustration, ill feelings of whatever kind we want to put on the list, they really start to be dissolved. We can call that dissolution healing. We could perhaps call that dissolution, or that process, acceptance. We can probably call that process allowance. Another word for that, we could call it equanimity with self and with the world at large. And I've never seen anything that can really create that to such degree. And Amy, I would love for you to share and what you witnessed, not only from your personal journey in the past 28 days, uh, but also you, as much as I have been, we have all been witnesses of one another inside of our community, inside of probably the safest container that I have known or participated of, virtually speaking. Uh, where all of us have had the opportunity to really create some massive transformation, to hold space, to be compassionate, to not bring judgment to the space, and to really experience freedom uh, every single day in a greater degree. So I'm going to invite you to share your perspective on what that experience has been for you, and what really comes to your awareness, organically in this moment.
Yeah. So I loved having that really safe container because it felt safe to share and safe to be open and vulnerable. And it pushed me out of my comfort zone too, to allow myself to be seen more, which is a big thing that I've been kind of working toward, is being more open and trusting and myself be seen. So I felt that was huge and I felt really safe doing so. So it's inviting me to be like to know that I'm safe even like outside of that container as well, to share exactly how I'm feeling and all that's there too. Because I have experienced, like, when I want to share, sometimes my mind just goes blank and I'm like, I can't find the words to express, but we can start with just what we feel and then the words come, I find.
That's super powerful, and I want to add to that, Amy. You said something that is really powerful, and it's the fact of being able to translate this work and transfer it from the container the very safe and beautiful community that we have going through the experience, and then being able to put yourself into what we do every day, which is our daily lives, and not have this severance of, oh, I can only do this when I'm with my group of people, but then when I go to the real world, it falls apart and I can't practice it.
Mhm.
We had a recent episode as well of H.P.S, of the Human Power series, with another community member, and she was saying, "Well, Mario, the thing is, I am going through this GL28 journey, but I am living my normal life every day as I am doing this stuff. This is part of my daily life. It's not like I just went away on a retreat and I'm having this, life changing experiences, and now I'm on a super super energetic high, and I feel incredible. But now the moment that I leave the place and I'm gonna go, maybe drive or get on an airplane to go back to my place of origin, now it's like I don't know what to do with myself because I am shocked by now being, trying to reintegrate into quote unquote normal life after having been away in this place where you were secluded and you were doing nothing but. And in the case of the GL28, the way that we conduct the program, and we invite everybody to be really part of it, is really through integration on daily living. It's really using every single thing that is made available to the community members on a daily basis to be practiced throughout the course of the day. And I'd like you to share your insight of that and what that has been like, and if that's something that resonates with you, or you see it differently.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I like the fact that we all have full lives. I don't like to say busy anymore. I'm like spreading that all around. Like it's a full life, but it doesn't have to be. We don't have to use the word busy and everything, but just with the quick bites and everything like that, like it was easy to integrate into your day and to actually do the work and then bring it out into the rest of your day as well because it was just so easy. It made it effortless, like having those quick fights and everything. And then your habit stacking, like every day, kind of doing another type of quick bite and everything like that too. And I really enjoyed that piece of it.
Thank you. For those of you listening to this conversation and you heard Amy say a word that perhaps is completely unknown to you, she said the word quick vite. And quick vite is a word that I created as part of the experience. And it stands for quick vite, and vite is for invite or invitation. And one of the things that I have discovered along the way is that, for the most part, I would say 99.9% of people, Amy, they don't like to actually have anything be imposed. I mean, all we have to do is just try to get a child to do something that they're adamant that they don't want to do, and you continue to actually force them to do it. And you're going to see this massive upheaval that they just simply are going to melt down. They're going to do everything they can to not do that. Some adults are a little more sophisticated than that, but will still display the same sort of, outcome, which is I'm not doing that. Some others will still be more childlike, and they will definitely throw tantrums. I've seen the two of them. But the fact of the matter is, it's not pleasant. And one of the things that we do in all the programs that we do, and especially here in the GL28, because we have every day there's actionable items that are extended as invitations to people, is to just allow for the process to unfold exactly as it needs to be unfolding for you. And honoring the fact that we all have different journeys, we all have different inclinations to anything we do, and also understanding from a much broader perspective that any process in our lives will be exactly what it needs to be for you wherever you are in that phase of your journey. And I feel extremely aligned with knowing that when we actually do anything in our programs, or independent of a program, we do things in our lives with such sort of degree of philosophy and honoring ourselves and respecting ourselves, transformation really happens a lot quicker, and it happens in leaps. Um, and Amy, I'm going to invite you to speak to, one of the things that I say is that I believe that this process is exponential, meaning that, in the beginning, one is kind of taking little bite sizes and chumming and, kind of like checking it out. and then something happens one day that you decide, okay, that clicked with me. Was that just an accident, or was that just because I am really stepping into a whole different thing? Not because of the program or Mario, but rather because the participant, in this case you, something resonated inside of you with it, and you said, I really want to try that out differently. Um, and I propose to people, if you give yourself the chance, and we can find the opening for you to say, I'm going to give that a try, then you really get into a rocket ship of a trip. Reason why I call this the launch pad. What are your thoughts on that in terms of seeing that, yes, there's a gradual nature to the work, but the moment that you really take it in and take it on, then you really go exponentially.
Yeah, so I felt, yeah, at the beginning I was just like, "Oh, okay." Like, I'm trying to think, find the words, but um I just felt the magic grow more and more every day, and then just seeing it more every day and being aware of it. And um I felt also, the experience that I had over the weekend with hurting my finger and having to go to emerge, and that whole experience. And I was struggling to find gratitude at that time and everything. But then it ended up being a beautiful blessing getting to drive with my mom to the hospital, because we went to a farther hospital because it would be less wait times. And we saw a beautiful sunset and had a great conversation. And then the nurse that I had was so funny and just a light. And I was able to actually express more gratitude than I would have in the past, even for that situation. To see her humor and to see, like, and so grateful for her helping me out and everything like that. It was just, yeah, I could feel my heart expand and grow through just every day. I feel my heart expand and open more and more, where I felt a heaviness more often most days, and it would be closed every now and then it would open, but it feels like my heart is more open than it ever was before, and staying open.
That is so massively beautiful and powerful. Thank you. For all of you who listen to Amy share this, as an insider to what she's sharing, and without getting into details, um, it is so hard for most to navigate the challenges that come with health things, when we're not feeling well, when, like Amy was saying, adding to the mix to have to go and, seek medical care and go to a facility and so on. That can be really nerve wracking for most people. And, as much as I'm used to it because of my career, I'm sensitive to the fact that that doesn't take away the fact that is really challenging. So for Amy to be sharing with us the fact that she could stay in that place, find gratitude in the midst of this chaos that she was going through, especially being a mom of children, like she was sharing earlier. And there's so much in the household going on. And now suddenly you have to leave everything to seek care for yourself as an adult and a caregiver to your children and your family, can be extremely, extremely challenging and difficult and painful too, right? Um, but it really speaks to your evolution, Amy, to your commitment, really your result, not really the program. The program, without people like you who are willing to consider doing things differently and taking what's being offered for our own development, it would be a nothing, right? I could be speaking here all day long and trying to tell people and throw a million quick bites on a daily basis. But if nobody's doing anything and really feeling the resonance with the work, it's completely meaningless. It's useless. So it's, if anything, full acknowledgement and recognition to your personal power, your journey of really wanting to seek, of wanting to expand, of wanting to experience life differently, of knowing, within your ancient wisdom that runs within you, that there's more to all of this, and you've been really resourcing yourself to experience that and offer it to your family. I think that one of the most beautiful things that I have noticed about your journey is your consummate generosity with your family, whether it's your husband or your children in particular, who your boys who you love so much and are such a giver to. And I think it's extremely generous and selfless to recognize that, we have certain things that are calling us to a different way of doing life. That's one aspect. A second aspect is to, humbly, and in some cases perhaps stubbornly saying, okay, I'm going to give it a try and see what else is possible here, because it becomes so loud and you just can't stand it and you want something better for your family and for yourself. You've done that too. Um, and then ultimately, to when it comes to this aspect of being seen, which is a really powerful thing. And those of you watching here, I recently had one of our episodes here on the live where I was talking about the IHV. And I don't know if you saw this particular program, Amy, and I was talking about the IHV, invisible human virus, the
Mhm.
invisible human virus. And I have really become aware that this is something that is afflicting billions of people on the planet, where there's this sense of, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy of this, I'll never be able to do X or Y, I don't feel good enough to be loved, I don't feel good enough to be partnered, and the list goes on. And somehow when we are just going through that infectious sort of state with the IHV, the invisible human virus, it's very difficult to see the gifts that are surrounding us on a daily basis. And I really find that a really potent, and maybe you can speak to this, Amy, in your experience, what it's been for you, a really potent antidote, vaccine, medication, whatever the term is, salve for the IHV, and being able to unleash this, incredible human power that you have been finding in through your journey, and certainly, like you said, accelerated it here and potentiated in the GL28, is gratitude and the feeling body. Can you speak to that?
Um, can you ask the question again? Sorry.
So I'm saying
Yeah.
that one of the things that has happened to many people in the program. I know that you have experienced this. You've been sharing it. This aspect of wanting to be seen and kind of just opening up to the world in a different way, in a really powerful way, um, has been addressed and supported to be achieved through the bringing together of gratitude and the feeling body. And so for me, as I'm asking you to, if you're kind enough to share with us, what does that feel now for you versus an older Amy that perhaps didn't have the same degree of comfort to be able
Yeah.
to, here I am.
So it feels a lot lighter and open. And yeah, like I shared before, like just my heart feels more open than it did. Yeah.
That's
And I
beautiful.
feel like right now, I don't know why, but a little fear is coming up and a little contraction in my heart. But I know, like, now that I express that, then I feel it open again. So just being more aware and open as well with everything that I'm feeling. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. That's super powerful. Amy, as we're getting close to wrapping this conversation up, I want to ask you something which I've been asked to get your perspective on this. Um, who is Gratitude Launchpad for? If somebody was doubting it or thinking about it, being exposed to it for the first time, I wonder if that's for me. What would you say about who is this for, and what would you say to those people?
I would say it's for everyone. Honestly, everyone should experience and learn to see the magic again, like she says in the book as well. Like just learning to have that childlike curiosity again, and to see the magic and to learn to see it again as well. So I think that's huge. I think it's for everyone. And if you're feeling called to do it, listen. Don't doubt it. Just listen. Um, because it's open, it's coming up for you, and it's coming into your field of awareness. You're ready for it.
Super, super powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that. For all of you who've been watching us live, or perhaps you're watching the recording, you are watching Alive Partner TV. And today we've been showcasing a very special series here in Alive Partner TV, which is the H.P.S, or Human Power Series. And I have been incredibly honored today to be welcoming to our home here at Life Partner TV one of our really esteemed and beloved community members inside of the 28-day Gratitude Launchpad. Her name is Amy. Amy is from Canada. And Amy has been sharing very personal and deep experiences from her life and also through the past 28 days. Today is an incredibly special day because we are in celebration mode. And in just a little bit, we're going to be going into having our whole community meet to celebrate everybody, to celebrate our milestones, our breakthroughs, our breakdowns, everything that really came up during that time, and really be witnesses of the incredible journey that we've all been in, and celebrate the power of the human spirit, the power of the human soul, and what's possible through the marriage of gratitude and activating your feeling body. You've been watching a Life Partner TV with Dr. Mario, and I want to say thank you again to Amy for her generosity with her time, with sharing very deeply personal things, which very often it's very uncomfortable for us. Me being one of those people that who's have to learn to do that. It's not something that was intuitive for me. So I can completely see that, respect it, definitely honor it and admire it. And I want to let you know, as you're viewing this video, if this has resonated with you, don't forget to share it with somebody. I like to say at the end of every single episode that I do that in you sharing this content that resonated with you with somebody you love in your life, you may be the catalyst for change in that person's life for the better. You may be the person who's actually the conduit for that person to feel healing in their lives, to really be able to transform, to bring a different perspective. And that is an incredible gift of generosity. So if this has resonated with you, I'll invite you to share it. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a comment. I love to read everything that our community members and people who visit us write, and I love to see how this lands for you. Do you see it differently? And if you do, share with us, what do you do that actually works for you? I'm always curious to learn and expand in ways, and to learn about things that I may not know, because I clearly don't know it all. Amy, thanks again for being with us. Thank you all for watching, and I can't wait to welcome you on our next episode here in Alive Partner TV. Have an amazing day. See ya. Bye, Amy.
Hi. Thank you.